Learn English through story. Forbidden Love. In the vibrant city of Eldoria, where the cobblestone streets hummed with the whispers of history, two souls found themselves intertwined in a love that society deemed unacceptable. Elena, a spirited artist known for her vibrant paintings that captured the essence of life, spent her days in a small studio overlooking the bustling marketplace. Her life was filled with color and creativity, but deep down, she yearned for a connection that transcended the surface of her existence. On the other side of the city lived Marcus, the heir to a wealthy family whose name was synonymous with power and privilege. He was a charming and ambitious young man, poised to take over the family business. However, the expectations placed upon him felt suffocating. In the midst of high society parties and business meetings, Marcus often felt like a stranger in his own life, trapped in a gilded cage of expectations. Fate intervened one evening at an art exhibition where Elena's latest work was displayed. Marcus, begrudgingly attending the event at the behest of his parents, found himself drawn to the vibrant colors of Elena's painting, a depiction of a sunset spilling into a serene ocean. He felt an immediate connection to the piece, as if it reflected the tumult of his own heart. As he stood mesmerized, Elena noticed him. With her fiery red hair cascading around her shoulders and a paint-splattered apron still tied around her waist, she approached him with a smile. "What do you think?" she asked, her eyes sparkling with excitement. "It's beautiful," Marcus replied, unable to hide the admiration in his voice. "It feels alive, almost like it has a heartbeat." "That's the point," Elena said, her confidence blooming. "Art should evoke emotions, make us feel something deep inside." Their conversation flowed effortlessly, revealing shared dreams and aspirations. They laughed, exchanged stories about their lives, and found solace in each other's company. Despite the social barriers that separated them, a magnetic attraction crackled in the air, drawing them closer together. Days turned into weeks, and their encounters became more frequent. They met in secret, exploring the hidden corners of Eldoria, abandoned gardens, quiet cafes, and the enchanting shoreline. Each moment spent together felt electric, igniting a fire within them that neither could ignore. Their laughter echoed in the night, and stolen kisses under the moonlight became the reality. However, the more they fell in love, the more dangerous their relationship became. Marcus was expected to marry a woman of his family's choosing, as someone who would enhance their social standing and continue their legacy. His parents had already arranged a match with a wealthy heiress, and the engagement was set to be announced at the upcoming gala. One afternoon, as they sat on the cliffs overlooking the ocean, Elena turned to Marcus, her heart heavy with the weight of their love. "We can't keep living like this, hiding our feelings from the world. What will happen when your engagement is announced? What will it mean for us?" Marcus took her hands in his eyes dark with emotion. "I don't care about the engagement, Elena. I care about you. You're the first person who has ever made me feel alive. But I can't deny my responsibilities. My family won't accept our love." Tears brimmed in Elena's eyes as she pulled her hands away, struggling to accept the reality that loomed over them. "We can't fight against the world, Marcus. It's not just about us. Your family's reputation is at stake, and I don't want to be the reason for your downfall." "But I can't bear the thought of losing you," Marcus confessed, anguish etched across his face. "You are my muse, my reason for living. I'll find a way to make this work, I promise." Despite their promises to each other, the looming threat of societal expectations weighed heavily on their hearts. The days leading up to the gala felt like a countdown to a ticking bomb. They stole every moment they could, cherishing the fleeting time they had together. But as the night of the gala approached, reality began to sink in, leaving them both feeling lost and hopeless. On the night of the event, Marcus arrived at the grand estate where the gala was being held, dressed impeccably in a tailored suit. The grand ballroom was adorned with chandeliers, and laughter echoed through the air. Yet, Marcus felt suffocated in the opulence of it all. As he mingled with the guests, He could see his parents discussing the evening's arrangements and the importance of the engagement announcement. In a quiet moment, he stepped outside onto the balcony, where the cool night air offered a momentary escape from the chaos. He closed his eyes, wishing he could be with Elena, to hold her in his arms and tell her that everything would be alright. Just as he opened his eyes, he caught a glimpse of her standing by the edge of the garden, her beauty radiating under the moonlight. His heart raced as he rushed down to her. "What are you doing here?" he asked, breathless. "You shouldn't be outside the gala. It's too dangerous." "I couldn't stay away," Elena replied, her voice trembling with emotion. "I had to see you. I couldn't let you go through this alone." They shared a lingering kiss, but the moment was shattered when they heard voices approaching. Panic surged through them as they pulled apart. Marcus glanced toward the approaching guests, knowing they couldn't be seen together. "Elena, you have to go. If they see USA." "I know," she whispered, her eyes filled with tears. "But I can't just stand by and watch you get trapped in a life you don't want. We have to find a way out of this." As the voices grew louder, Marcus grabbed her hand, desperate to find a solution. "Meet me by the old oak tree tomorrow at dawn. We can figure this out. I won't let my family dictate my life any longer." Elena nodded, heart pounding with hope. "I'll be there." The following morning, the sun peeked over the horizon, casting a warm glow over the landscape. Elena arrived at the old oak tree, her heart racing with anticipation. She had spent the night contemplating their options, and a plan began to form in her mind. As she waited, she replayed their conversations, their dreams, and the love that felt so real and yet so forbidden. When Marcus arrived, his face was etched with determination. "I've been thinking," he said, breathless from running. "We could leave the city, start fresh somewhere new, just the two of us." Elena's heart leapt at the idea. "You mean it? You'd really leave everything behind?" "I would do anything for you," he replied, his eyes filled with sincerity. "I can't live a life that doesn't include you. We deserve a chance to be happy." As they stood beneath the old oak tree, the weight of their love transformed into a glimmer of hope. They discussed their plans, dreaming of a life filled with adventure, where their love could flourish without the shackles of society holding them back. They envisioned a small cottage by the sea, where they could paint, laugh, and build a life together free from judgment and expectations. However, the shadows of reality loomed larger than their dreams. Just as they were about to embrace the possibility of a new life, a figure emerged from the tressa. Marcus's younger sister, Isabella. She stood there, wide-eyed and trembling, having followed Marcus after witnessing his secret rendezvous with Elena at the gala. "Marcus, what are you doing?" she gasped, her voice filled with confusion and concern. "You can't be with her. She's not one of us." "Isabella, this is not what it seems," Marcus began, but she interrupted him. "I saw how you were with her last night. Mother and father will never accept this. You know that," Isabella pleaded, her voice rising in desperation. Elena felt her heart sink, knowing that the very love that felt so right could lead to ruin. "I never meant to intrude on your family's life," she said softly. "I care for Marcus deeply, but I understand the implications." Isabella looked between them, her expression torn. "But you can't just throw everything away for a fling. You have responsibilities, Marcus. You're supposed to marry Annabelle." "That's the way it's always been." "Isabella, I'm not happy with Annabelle," Marcus exclaimed, his frustration boiling over. "I can't live a life dictated by family expectations. I want to be with Elena." Isabella's eyes widened as realization washed over her. "But you'll lose everything. Your name, your place in society, a broken bar. You'll be disowned." For a moment, silence hung heavy in the air as they all grappled with the weight of Marcus's words. The thought of losing everything he had known was terrifying, but the thought of a life without Elena was even worse. "I would rather be alone than be with someone I don't love," Marcus stated firmly, turning to Elena. "What we have is real, and I won't let anyone take that away from us." Isabella looked at her brother, torn between love for him and fear of the consequences. You have to think this through. You're making a mistake. As the tension escalated, Elena felt the urgency to make a decision. Marcus, maybe it's time to face the truth. We can't keep running. If this is meant to be, we need to confront it head on. He turned to her, his eyes pleading. What do you mean? We can talk to your family, explain how we feel and see if they're willing to understand. We owe it to ourselves to be honest. Are you sure? Marcus asked, a mixture of hope and fear dancing in his gaze. Yes, Elena replied, her heart steadying. If we love each other, we have to fight for it, even if it means facing the hardest truths. That evening, they gathered their courage and headed to Marcus's family estate. The grandeur of the mansion felt oppressive, its walls echoing with the weight of tradition and expectations. Marcus's parents, elegant and poised, sat in the lavish living room, surprised to see their son accompanied by Elena. What is the meaning of this? His father asked, his tone sharp. Father, I need to talk to you, Marcus began, his voice steady. Elena and I have developed a relationship that goes beyond friendship. I love her. Silence enveloped the room, and Marcus's mother narrowed her eyes. This is preposterous. You're engaged to Annabelle. We've made plans for your future. I don't want that future, Marcus replied, his resolve unwavering. I want to be with Elena. She makes me feel alive in a way that I've never felt before. You can't force me into a life that isn't mine. Elena stood by his side, her heart racing. I understand that this may not be what you had planned, but I love your son. I want to support him, not detract from his future. His father stood up, his face darkening with anger. You think you can waltz in here and disrupt our lives? You're nothing but a lowly artist, not worthy of our name. Elena felt the sting of his words, but she stood firm. I may not come from wealth, but I know the value of love. I would never hold Marcus back. I want to help him find happiness. Enough. His mother interrupted, her voice cold. You are being foolish. We will not allow this relationship to tarnish our name. You will marry Annabelle, and this conversation is over. As they left the mansion, the weight of despair pressed heavily upon Marcus's shoulders. The love that felt so right had collided with a wall of resistance, leaving them both feeling defeated. Maybe I was foolish to think they would understand, Marcus said, his voice laced with regret. I thought love would conquer all, but it seems the world has different plans. Elena reached for his hand, her heart aching for the pain he felt. We fought for what we believe in, and that's what matters. Love is powerful, but it's not always enough to break the chains of tradition. As they walked through the dimly lit streets, the reality of their situation weighed heavily on them. Their love, so beautiful and genuine, was caught in a web of societal expectations that felt insurmountable. They returned to the old oak tree, the place where their love had begun, and sat in silence, contemplating the uncertainty of their future. In the days that followed, the pressure mounted. Marcus faced backlash from his family and peers, with whispers of scandal following him wherever he went. Invitations to social gatherings were rescinded, and the once familiar world of privilege turned hostile. Despite the turmoil, he remained steadfast in his feelings for Elena, but the pain of being ostracized took its toll. Elena, too, faced judgment from her community. Some saw her as a homewrecker, while others wondered if she was only after Marcus's wealth. The criticism pierced her heart, causing her to question the path they had chosen. One evening, as they sat together in her studio, surrounded by the remnants of her art, Marcus took her hands in his. Elena, I don't want to drag you into this mess. You deserve to be celebrated, not vilified. Maybe we should consider ending this before it ruins both of us. No, Elena exclaimed, her voice trembling. I won't let fear dictate our love. We've fought too hard to give up now. I believe in us. But what if this leads to more pain? Marcus asked, his voice tinged with anguish. What if we lose everything? Sometimes love requires sacrifice, she replied, tears welling in her eyes. But I refuse to live in a world where we pretend we don't care for each other. I want to be with you, Marcus, no matter the cost. With that declaration, Marcus felt a surge of determination. They had come too far to turn back now. Then let's make it work. We'll find a way to navigate this, together. Their commitment to each other reignited the flame of hope within them. They spent the following days planning how to confront the challenges ahead, determined to face their families and society with their heads held high. The weeks turned into months, and the struggle continued. They faced obstacles at every turn: family tensions, social exclusion, and financial difficulties. But through it all, their love only grew stronger, anchored by the deep connection they had forged. Finally, after a particularly grueling confrontation with Marcus's family, he decided to take a bold step. He called a town hall meeting, inviting the community to hear their story. It was time to shed light on the truth of their love and challenge the stigma surrounding it. As they stood together in front of the gathered crowd, Marcus took a deep breath, his heart pounding in his chest. "Thank you all for coming. I know that our relationship has caused a stir, but I want to share our story. I love Elena, and our love is real. It's not about status or wealth, it's about connection and understanding." Elena stepped forward, her voice steady despite the tremor of nerves. "We are here to show that love knows no bounds. It transcends societal expectations, and it can bring light to even the darkest places. We believe in our love and refuse to let it be defined by others." As they shared their journey of the beauty of their connection, the struggles they faced, and the lessons they learned in it, the crowd began to shift. Murmurs of empathy replaced judgment, and the truth of their love resonated with many who had faced similar battles in their own lives. By the end of the meeting, something remarkable happened. One by one, people began to stand up and share their stories of forbidden love, societal pressures, and the courage it took to pursue happiness against all odds. It was a moment of catharsis, a gathering of souls united by their shared experiences. In the weeks that followed, something shifted in Eldoria. As more people came forward, the community began to embrace the idea that love, in all its forms, should be celebrated. They learned to challenge the norms that sought to divide them and instead chose to foster understanding and compassion. Through their bravery, Marcus and Elena had sparked a movement, one that encouraged others to stand up for their love, no matter how forbidden it may seem. Their relationship, once seen as scandalous, became a symbol of hope and resilience. Years later, as Marcus and Elena stood hand in hand at the edge of the same cliffs where their love had first bloomed, they reflected on their journey. They had faced down societal norms and emerged stronger, having built a life filled with love, art, and understanding. "What we have is worth fighting for," Marcus said, gazing into Elena's eyes. "I couldn't have done it without you." Elena smiled, her heart brimming with gratitude. "And I wouldn't trade our story for anything. We showed the world that love can conquer even the deepest divides." In the end, they realized that forbidden love is not just about breaking rules, it's about understanding the power of connection and the courage to stand up for what one believes in. Their love, once deemed unacceptable, had transformed into a testament of hope, inspiring others to listen to their hearts and embrace their truth, no matter the obstacles in their path. Love knows no boundaries, and when we stand firm in our beliefs, we can challenge societal norms and inspire change. True love is about authenticity, connection, and the courage to pursue happiness, even in the face of adversity. I hope you enjoyed the story. If you enjoyed, then please like and share this video, and don't forget to subscribe our YouTube channel. Thank you for watching.